is on fire. My dreams are for sale.
Chapter 2. The Angels. Finally, I got into the treehouse. But something wasn't right. I could see something next to another tree. An angel. No, 2 of them. I couldn't believe my eyes. I got out of my treehouse and went to the tree near me, just to watch. They were fighting. It was crazy. The largest one, with white wings, had a blue sword that glowed like the one I had. The other angel, with black wings that looked quite a lot like bat wings, had no sword and was clearly outbeaten. Yet he was still putting up a fight. He wasn't going to last much longer, and despite his rather scary-looking wings, he looked like the good guy. The black-winged angel had a crimson caramel-like skin tone to him, as if he should have the white wings. He also had jet black hair, just like mine, and his eyes were big pools of blue, with small black dots in the middle of them. His stance was strong and confident. He was also full of muscles. The wings he had were black, night black, and instead of them looking feathered and smooth, they looked like bat wings. The other angel had white wings, an eggshell pale skin, with brown hair, and his eyes were also brown. The white-winged angel suddenly slashed a wound into the other angel's arm. "Fallen!" he shouted at the black-winged angel. "I am no fallen. I let her go," he answered in reply. "Only because she wanted to leave." The white-winged angel's sword pulled up above the other angel's wings. I could tell what he was going to do. He was going to cut the angel's wings off. I couldn't stand there and watch this. I had to help. Didn't I? I picked up my sword and ran full speed towards the angel. Slash. I swung at his arm and put a massive cut into him. He bled out a river of blood. All of a sudden, more angels flew in. One had burnt orange shade wings. Another had orange and black tiger-striped ones. And another had yellow wings. The tiger-striped and yellow-winged ones picked up the wounded leader and began to leave. "Wow, you were amazing, sis!" My eyes lit up in disgrace. My sister was here. Go home, to Mom. Don't let them see you." I shouted at her to get the hell out of here, but she wouldn't listen. "Go!" I shouted again, and this time she went. She was almost halfway home when the orange-winged angel came down out of nowhere and started heading straight towards her. I ran as fast as I could. I ran. My legs were killing me, and my lungs were screaming at me to stop, but I couldn't. I couldn't let them take her. Whoosh. He knocked past me, plummeting me to the ground. I got back up almost instantly. The angel had her. I jumped to catch her, but missed. I kept running after them, even when they were well out of reach. I collapsed to the ground. She was gone. And all because of me. She was gone. Chapter 3. Is there hope? What had I done? If only I had told Mom it was an angel feather, then none of us would be allowed out. Lila wouldn't be gone. Is there any hope? Is there any hope? I have to try. I have to get it back. Lifting myself up onto my feet, I got up and took a couple of steps forward, then collapsed back to the ground. Just at that moment, I realized there was a sharp pain at the left side of my stomach. Bleeding? I was bleeding? There was a deep cut in my stomach, and after it, a river of blood. All of a sudden, I felt faint. I was losing blood, and fast. My muscles couldn't hold me up any longer. Going to take a rest on the floor, I fell completely, but to my surprise, not into the hard, leafy ground, but into a pair of arms. Whose arms were they? It wasn't my sister. She was gone. Nor was it my mother, who might have heard the commotion and come to get us. I knew it wasn't my mom, because I could see her silhouette in the window of my house. Whose arms were they? Turning my head back to see who it was, I asked, "Who?" After that, my voice trailed off. Even I didn't know what I was saying. Then I saw his face. It was the angel, the one I had saved. Suddenly, out of pure shock, I jumped back and stood up, which was a bad mistake. A bad, bad mistake. Almost instantly, I plummeted back to the ground. This time, I did faint, and after that, black. Chapter 4. What am I? Waking up to the sound of birds was normal to me, but this time it didn't feel quite right. Till I remembered last night. Shooting up, I also recalled the pain in my stomach, but it was gone. Nothing. I took a glimpse around the room, bandages and blood-stained towels all over. Turning my attention back to the cut, I lifted up my socks to see how bad it was. The cut was but nothing. Not only was there no pain, but there was no cut as well. What am I? I whispered to myself. Don't ask me. The angel had come into the room and was looking straight at me. My eyes shot up towards to look at him. I was shocked. No, mortified. An angel had saved me from death. I was almost disappointed with myself. So, how did you heal yourself? The angel asked me. I didn't answer. You gonna talk? He kept asking me. I didn't want to talk to an angel. I shook my head at him. Okay then, I'll ask you yes and no questions. He smiled at me, but I just stared back at him. Are you an angel? I shook my head in response. Human? This time I nodded my head. Well, I hate to break it to you, but humans don't heal themselves. However, angels can. Now I was angry. He was implying that I was an angel in disguise? This made me mad. Just mad enough to... How dare you! Shout. I got you to talk. My face went blank. I had already broken that rule, so I might as well keep talking to him. Well done. He looked at me in surprise that I kept talking to him. Well then, he said as if he had no idea how to continue the conversation. Pulling the covers off me, I got up and walked to get my bags. Then I realized that they were in the treehouse. We were in the treehouse. How had he known to take me to the treehouse? Never mind. I shoved that thought into a vault in my head, and it had no chance of escaping, unless it got too full. But that wasn't going to happen. Where are you going? He shouted at me from across the room. To find my sister. Do you know where the area is? I paused. He had a point. He knew where the area was. I didn't. No, but I don't need to know. I sounded self-centered. Like a lone survivor or something like that. I walked to the latch door and opened it and then climbed down the ladders. The angel was following me. Why are you following me? Don't you want my help? He was starting to annoy me now. No, I don't need your help. You're an angel. Just leave me alone. Why was I being like this to him? He had just saved my life, and I was being mean to him. I stopped and turned around to tell him I was sorry for shouting at him, but he was already walking away, so I walked on. After only a few seconds of walking, I changed my mind and went back to him. I was too late. The white-winged angel was back. He had already cut off his wings as his revenge. But that wasn't enough for him. I had to get involved. Stay away from him! I had got right in the way of the angel's second death blow. Blocking him was easy when you had a sword. Using all my strength, I shoved him away from me and the other angel. Then I hit him with my own kind of death blow. After that, he did a runner and disappeared. I ran back to the treehouse to grab the first aid kit and pulled out some antiseptic wipes from the bag and wiped the cuts with them. He flinched and hissed at the pain. It must have stung. Of course it did. He was practically bleeding rivers of blood down his back. Pulling the bandages from the bag, I wrapped them round the cuts on his back. All of a sudden, his eyes fluttered. I was losing him. Was he dying, or was he just fainting like I did? I didn't know what to do or how I could help him. I was lost, and I needed him. I needed an angel. I had to save him. I had to. How else was I going to get my sister back? I kept those thoughts running through my head. This is all for my sister, all for my sister. But I couldn't help but think, somehow, I was doing it for the angel as well.
Please, please forgive me, but I won't be home again. Maybe someday you'll look up and barely conscious you'll say to no one, isn't something